Greetings and salutations, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Behind the Bib. I'm your host, Lisa Watkins, and I am 1000% delighted to be with you here this evening, this afternoon, this morning, this middle of the night, however you're listening to me. As I've come to find out, many of you listen to me during the workday. Don't worry, I'm not going to tell your boss. I definitely don't listen to podcasts as I'm doing my work either. For those of you who liked, followed, shared, did all of the things, thank you. Every single interaction helps me get this podcast and this content out in front of runners and would-be runners like you and me. So thank you. It's actually, you guys, it's actually really hard to promote and get podcast content in front of people. You dang nearly can't do it without doing the social things. And you know what I can't do by myself is the social things. It's the social part of it. So I really need you guys to go out there and like the Facebook page, follow the Instagram stuff so that the algorithm starts pushing this content out to more people. I really do think that the content can help people, but I can't do it without your help. And for those of you who regularly do that, you know who you are. You're on the top fans list every single week. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. And from the people that are new to running, they thank you as well. All right. Speaking of thank yous, thank you to Christina, the race director of the Rexy Run. Let's see. I received my super cute shirt. Here, I'm going to hold it up for you guys. The Rexy Run. Green must have been the color. So here's the super cute shirt. I signed up for the Rexy Run virtually. Rexy Run 2025. It was the 10-year anniversary. I found out about this race from the Back of the Pack podcast. You can see the Back of the Pack and Kyle sponsored the bags for this race. He's a big proponent of the race, and I was like, what the heck? It's a good cause. They have a virtual option. I will go out and do the things. So I did. And you guys, this deca medal is so cute. So for those of you who just minimize this, I will describe the medal to you. So the medal is a really unique shape, and I probably need somebody to explain the shape to me, but it's kind of like a square, a rectangle that's rounded on the top, and it says Rexy Run in purple font. It's not exactly Comic Sans, so hats off to you for using a different font. I'm a bit of a font snob. And the little green dinosaur is running with a little purple butterfly. And the green dinosaur is holding a pink balloon that has the number 10 on it. And then there's a sign beside the purple butterfly that says Angel Avenue. So super cute medal, super cute race, super great work that they're doing out there for their community. So I was super happy to support this wonderful, wonderful race out there. They even, when I submitted my t-shirt size and my address and stuff for them to send me that, they even included a handwritten note card. Look at that. That said thank you. It says, thank you for your support virtually of the Rexy Run, hosted by Baby J's Legacy of Hope. We are a race based out of Lawrence, Kansas that helps families who have a kid fighting cancer. This year, over 500 people registered to help Amelia and other warriors in their fight. Thank you for joining us virtually. Sincerely, Christina, race director. How cool is that, right? And I also heard that there were a few folks from Huntsville that also participated virtually. So Melanie and all, thank you so much for also contributing to this race and to this wonderful benefit for the Lawrence, Kansas community out there. And another congratulations goes out to everyone who ran the race for justice. I've been on Strava, you guys, and oh my gosh, it's like everyone. Mina, PR, Amy, PR, Ashley, PR. Like there were so many PRs. It was like Angie, PR, like everyone out there This must have been, and I ran it. It was absolutely a fast and very flat course, and you guys took 100% advantage of that. Congratulations to everyone who ran the Race for Justice this past weekend. Absolutely incredible times. And also congratulations if you happen to have gotten engaged this past weekend. Anita or Ashley, I'm so excited for you. And so congratulations on all fronts for the race, for the rings, for all of the things, right? And y'all, that's not all that I'm excited about. I'm excited about running. I'm always excited about running. But there's even more exciting news, and you've probably seen it on Facebook, and I'm going to wait just a little bit longer to tell you about it. So you're going to have to listen to the end of the show to find out what my big announcement is. It's big, it's huge, it's not a major mistake. It's a big, huge, major announcement, and I'm so incredibly scared, but also incredibly humbled and incredibly excited to be participating in this event that's coming up. I honestly can't wait to tell you about it. But first, we have to continue on some commitments I made, and that means we've got to talk about some more greenways in Huntsville. If y'all remember a few episodes back, Brittany and Peter wanted to find out more about the Huntsville Greenways. And I was like, what the heck? I'm going to tell you about them. And I'm going to do a series about them. So we covered West Huntsville, we covered North Huntsville, and today we're going to cover East and Southeast Huntsville and save a few in the Southwest Huntsville for the next episode. But before we get into all of that, see, I told you there's so much that happened this past weekend. Okay, take a breath, Lisa. All right, I get to talking too fast and I lose my breath, and I'm sure you guys can hear it in the audio of the podcast. Anyway, super big things happened this past weekend. Number one, the Sydney Marathon. It was the first year in which the Sydney Marathon was recognized as one of the Abbott World Majors. If anybody wants to sponsor me to go down there and run the Sydney Marathon, just let me know. I'm just saying. I'd be happy to do it. So anyway, the Australian city now joins the ranks alongside Tokyo and Boston and London and Berlin and Chicago and, of course, New York City. This year, approximately 35,000 runners participated in Sydney's race, starting bright and early on Sunday morning. Before the race commenced, all eyes were on 40-year-old Eliud Kipchoge, who had the potential to earn his 12th world major marathon. He led the men's elite field with a personal best of 2:01:09. Can y'all even imagine running a marathon at 2:01:09? Some of us got together and tried to just hold his pace for 30 seconds. They had to do it going downhill. It was dangerous. It's just incredible what the actual pace is like. But this time, in fact, he actually finished in 9th place with a time of 2:08:31. Taking first place was 28-year-old Haley Mariam Kuros Kibeti of Ethiopia. Wow. I think that I got that on their first take. Ooh. Okay. I totally wasn't expecting to do that. So taking watch, I'm not going to be able to talk the rest of the episode. Taking first place was 28-year-old Haley Mariam Kuros Kibeti of Ethiopia, who set the fastest marathon time of 2:06:06 in Australia. This was Kuros' first Abbott World Major win, but it surely won't be his last. I'm sure we'll see more from him in the future. The results in the elite women's field were just as stunning as the world witnessed 3-time Olympian, oh my God, she's awesome, Sifan Hassan. Now that one I did not get correct on the first try. Her name is Sifan Hassan of the Netherlands. She led the way, clocking a women's course record of 2:18:22, shaving roughly off the last about 3 minutes off the previous 2024 time. Her victory marks her third World Abbott Majors, having won the Chicago and London marathons in 2023. You may remember her as the video, which is absolutely hilarious. She was the one that's saying, "This is stupid. Why do I do this to myself? This is horrible. I don't understand." So she has this whole diatribe. It was hilarious. And let me just say, same. I have the same thoughts, whether it's a 5K, a 10K, or a marathon. I start off saying, "Oh my God, why do I do this? I should probably play pickleball instead." But you know what? That's not who we are. All right. You know who else had races this weekend? So there was a huge road race. There was also a huge trail race. And I am talking about UTMB, the Ultra Trail du Mont Blanc. And speaking of races that I would love to attend in person, this is one of them. Nearly 2,500 runners set off from Chamonix, France on Friday evening to conquer one of ultra running's greatest tests, UTMB. It's the 25th edition of this iconic race, and from everything I was watching, they had some pretty extreme weather, which included rain, sleet, blizzard-like conditions. They even cut just over 2 kilometers from the trail. I think it's traditionally 178, and I think they ran about a 176. So if anybody out there wants to fact check me on that, come back and let me know. Leave it as a comment down below. Look at that. I'm a regular M&M on here tonight. I know you're laughing in your cube. That's okay. I can hear you. Back to UTMB. In the women's race, New Zealander Ruth Croft powered through the elements to take home the female title in just over 22 hours, 56 minutes. And she improved upon her 2024 UTMB runner-up performance. In the men's contest, UK runner Tom Evans avenged his 2023 and 2024 DNFs to claim the overall win in 19 hours, 18 minutes, and 58 seconds. You know, we can all come back from a DNF. You always hear the DFL over DNS, which is dead effing last over did not start or did not finish. So, but you know what? It's my personal opinion that if you don't DNF something, you really haven't pushed yourself far enough. We'll see what I have in my future. I'm going to keep pushing. Courtney Duttwaller, who is one of my favorites, I love that she just races in those like board shorts. She just looks like she walks off of the shore of some Malibu surf shack and just like low key puts on her vest and then just hammers out 173 kilometers through the Alps in Europe. It's just crazy. And she makes it look so easy. Although there is one video of her in this race that I saw where she's got her poles out and she's going up this hill. I don't know what the incline on it was. It looks like it was like a 20-degree incline. I was like, oh my God. But you can tell she is just on the struggle bus. And, but still persevering forward. And she's just incredible. I love Courtney. Courtney, if you ever listen to this, I love you. So Courtney, who really was, I think, was the crowd favorite. I love this. She finished hand in hand with her son. The cheers of the crowd, it was just incredible as she was coming into the finish line. It really is my dream to go to UTMB for this iconic race. As a spectator, of course. I don't think I have UTMB bibs in my future. All right, folks. Speaking of stuff in my future and in my past, let's talk about these Huntsville Greenways a little bit. Okay, so I promised you I would talk about the Greenways. Let's talk about East and Southeast Huntsville Greenways, and we're going to wrap up with a little bit from the Race for Justice this past weekend. If you're actually watching the video and not just listening to it, I'm wearing the Race for Justice t-shirt from this past weekend. I actually love the colors, and I want to collect them all in the future because I think Jerry does a fantastic job picking out the colors for the shirts. So don't forget with the Greenways, these are some of the most popular spots in the city of Huntsville, and the vision for the Greenway system is that every resident lives within 1 mile of a greenway or a greenway connection. Let's start off with a smaller greenway on the eastern side of Huntsville called Trailhead Greenway. This is located near the intersection of US 72 and Mars Mill Road over there. I guess everybody knows it, like where that Taco Bell is and where 24/7 is over there. So it's just over Chapman Mountain. The greenway loops around that newly developed subdivision over there, the Trailhead Huntsville community, and connects the Land Trust of North Alabama, that legacy loop, in the Hickory Cove Nature Preserve. So it just kind of goes around that little neighborhood over there. It's about 1.25 miles, and I've done this greenway lots of times. Nearby destinations, you've got Trailhead Huntsville community, the Hickory Cove Nature Preserve. It backs up to Montesano State Park, Chapman Mountain Preserve. I think is it Harris Hill that's right there? All these folks, we go out there and do Harris Hill for some serious hill work. If you want some serious hill work, there's some serious hill work there. It's over there by Chapman Elementary School, and Alabama A&M University is nearby as well. Okay, so parking is available at the Trailhead Greenway. It's a mid-sized parking lot. It's okay. You know, it's not little bitty like the one that I'm going to describe in a minute. So plenty of cars can fit there. Actually, probably more cars than people that are going to be on the Greenway, to be honest with you. So lots of parking for the size of the Greenway. And the surface of this one, it is paved. I would say it's stroller dog friendly. I've had my dogs out there, not in strollers, but I've also saw strollers out there, so I think it's okay. It's not as wide as Indian Creek or Bradford Creek, however. And unless they've installed some since the last time I was there, there's no like porta pots down there, like standalone bathroom facilities. You know how some parks do. But what they do have is some good old fashioned woods, and you know what to do with that business. All right, some pros of this greenway. It's quiet, it's less crowded, it's out there in that little neighborhood. It has the mountains in the backdrop. It connects those hiking trails to Montesano, just like, you know, how we talked about Wade Mountain, connects the Wade Mountain trails. It's kind of like that. 24/7 gym is right there. There's some gas stations if you want to pick up your Gatorade on the way out. Or if you're hankering for a Taco Bell Crunch Wrap after listening to the last Back of the Pack episode podcast where he talks about the Taco Bell Ultra. I think it was an ultra marathon out there. Anyway, I was on my way to the hotel in Denver, and I literally had to stop at Taco Bell. I was like, oh my God, Kyle, quick. Anyway, it was fine. I digress. Pros. Cool things, backs up to some trails, gas stations nearby, get your Gatorade afterward. Cons, it's kind of short. If you're looking for a lot of paved mileage, there's some times in the summertime where there's not much say. There's some few hills in it that actually has more hills than other greenways that I've been doing. There's a little small pond, but really this is intended, it's very good for what it's intended to be, which is a little neighborhood greenway, right? It's great. Just go out and walk in the afternoon and evenings after you eat dinner. That's exactly what it's for, and it does a good job of doing that. Speaking of greenways, you can get some serious mileage on. Let's talk about some of my very, very favorite greenways to do. Up first is the Big Cove Greenway, and if you are doing some serious marathon training this summer and this fall, the next 3 greenways I'm going to tell you about are some that you need to put on your list, because you can string these little chickadees together just like some Lego bricks, and you can hit 15-20 miles easy, no problem. All right, let's start first with Big Cove Greenway. Big Cove is located in East Huntsville from Cranfield Road to the Flint River Greenway at Hayes Nature Preserve. It's about 2.86 miles, so it's just under 3 miles. Really, I think my Garmin has clocked this at 3 miles before, but it might be slightly off. Nearby destinations, you've got Hampton Cove Elementary, the Hampton Cove Community, the Cove Creek Community, Flint River, and the Little Cove Road Greenways, and the Hampton Cove Center and Hampton Place Shopping Centers. So there's some restaurants and stuff there. that if you use their parking lot, you might just want to stop by and get a pizza at Tortora's on the way out. Parking is available at the trailheads located on Old 431 and Hayes Nature Preserve. The surface is paved, stroller, dog friendly. Again, not as wide as Indian Creek or Bradford Creek, it felt like. But again, I don't go out there with like a tape measure and measure these. I just kind of go on feel. It feels wider than Wade Mountain or Trailhead. Although, again, I didn't measure it. It just feels that way. Pros. This greenway goes by Big Cove Creek, so we often see all kinds of birds and animals and wildlife, especially because Flint River is right in the nearby area as well. And this greenway is absolutely glorious, glorious in the fall. If you connect the Flint River Greenway to Old 431 to this Big Cove Greenway to Little Cove Greenway, you can easily get 15 to 20 miles and get your longest training runs of the training cycle in. And most of it will be flat while you're doing it. Except for Little Cove Greenway. There's a pretty good hill at the end of it. Cons. This one can get a little busy. The parking lot at the very beginning is very small. So either like park over at the Hampton Cove Middle School and walk under the bridge over to the Greenway that way, or park right there. Like there's Tortora's shopping center right there. You can park on the edges of that parking lot. Lots of folks do that as well because the actual parking lot is a little bit tiny. Or you can start halfway down and park in the Flint River Greenway there at Hayes Nature Preserve, and you can come back and then go down. But just know that there's not any bathrooms until you get down to that Flint River Greenway at Hayes Nature Preserve. Speaking of Flint River Greenway, let's talk about it next. So you see how I'm doing it? I'm like stringing these together like you might want to go run it. Method to the madness. All right. So Flint River, located in East Huntsville, again, Hampton Cove, US 431, from Big Cove Creek Greenway to the pedestrian bridge at Flint River. This is about 2 miles, so it adds another 2 miles. Nearby destinations is Big Cove Greenway and Hayes Nature Preserve. When they say nearby, they mean that that's literally where it's at. Parking is available at the trailhead located at Hayes Nature Preserve off of Old Highway 431. So the Hayes Nature Preserve one has some porta pots right there. I will say that those are very well loved. There's lots of activity at those porta pots. And down at off of Old 431, the last time I was down through there, they had also installed some porta pots there as well. And if you love horses like Anteater Ashley, there's also some little horse trails off of this Greenway off of Old 431. So, just saying. Pros of this greenway. Oh, wait, let's go over the surface first. Still, like if you just start from Big Cove and go down to Flint River and then Little Cove, all of these are all paved, right? They're all dog friendly. They're all stroller friendly. There's no like loose gravel or big chunky gravel or anything like that. So you don't have to worry about any of that. Again, they're still pretty wide. I didn't measure it, but it's not narrow like the way Wade Mountain felt, kind of really narrow. It feels like when I'm running with Running Buddy, we can easily run 2 or 3 abreast and pass people and stuff like that. So some pros of this course, it does cross Flint River. There's a beautiful bridge that crosses it, and I always stop and just like kind of take the bridge in, especially in the fall. So if you go early in the morning in the fall and you run up and over this bridge and you pause there at the top, don't forget to pause your Garmin or your Coros. If you pause there at the top and you look down, the river flows down through these trees and the sunlight is like speckled through the leaves on the trees, and the leaves are just falling down from the trees and landing in the water, and then they kind of cascade down under the bridge, and then there's just, oh my gosh, it's just beautiful, y'all. Just go do it, especially in the fall. So a huge pro is that this beautiful bridge, and it's beautiful in the fall. The cons is that, again, this one can get pretty busy, and those porta pots are very well loved. We'll say it that way, over in Hayes Nature Preserve. All right, So we did Big Cove Greenway, we did Flint River, and then we're going to take so when Flint River ends, we're going to turn left on Old 431, take that just across of actual 431, like there that comes down to McMullen Cove. We're going to take it across the highway. There's a crossing right there. You can actually go up a little bit, and there's a crossing that goes under the highway. And I would recommend that because that is a much safer option than trying to cross that busy 4-lane road. And if you take that across, and you can get on Little Cove Greenway. And I know it's so confusing. Big Cove, Little Cove. Little Cove Greenway is the one that runs down beside Hampton Cove neighborhood. And this goes all the way down Old Highway 431 to the Flint River Bridge, where all the people put their kayaks in and everything. And the length of this greenway is like 5 miles. So if you do this whole greenway and you do the whole Big Cove Greenway and you add on the Flint River Greenway and that little portion of Old 431, easily 15-20 miles. All right. So nearby destinations, again, right there, Hampton Cove Elementary, the Hampton Cove Community, the Robert Trent Jones Golf Course, and the Flint River Greenway and Big Cove Greenway. Of course, I just told you because they connected. All right. Parking is available at the trailhead located off of Old Highway 431 and at Hampton Cove Elementary. The one off of Old Highway 431, I have seen porta pots there. I have also seen porta pots at Hampton Cove Elementary, but not as often. So I don't know if that just corresponds to different races that have been held there, and we just happened to run it after a race that had been run there. So you can't depend on the porta pots being there at Hampton Cove Elementary, but fairly regularly they are there at Old Highway 431 parking lot. I think that's just a gravel parking lot too, just FYI. So pros, you can connect this greenway to Big Cove Creek as well as Flint River. And again, it's all down there with that Hayes Nature Preserve. So just expect to see all kinds of wildlife, all kinds of birds and mammals and deer. We've seen lots of deer down there, and it's just been wonderful. And you can really get a lot of miles in this way. Now, you might want to do it in the opposite way and do like Little Cove first and then do Flint River and then do Big Cove, because there's a long stretch on Little Cove that is very, very sunny. There's no shade whatsoever, so not recommended to do this in the middle of the afternoon on your August run. But if you don't get started until, I don't know, a cool October day and you want to run that has lots of sun, maybe do it at the end of it. Okay, so cons to this greenway. This one can get a little busy. Of course, it runs there alongside Old 431. Lots of cars at sometimes. Now, it's a dedicated greenway, like they have their own dedicated lanes. It's marked and everything for the runners and the walkers and the bikers. But it does run alongside the highway there. It's in some places it can be kind of fairly close to the highway. In some places it's farther away. Just know that there's going to be cars going back and forth. And if you're in a really popular time of the day, there's just going to be some traffic and there's just going to be some carbon monoxide in the air. I will say there's, again, not many porta pots, but there are some woods nearby. I'll just leave that there. All right, so that wraps up some of my favorite east and southeast greenways, Trailhead, Big Cove Creek, as well as Flint River and Little Cove Greenway. If I missed one of your favorite eastern/southeastern greenways, let me know, and I will try to include it on a future episode. But those are some of my favorites, and really when we're getting our long runs in, it's on the must-do list. Hey, you want to go do, we actually just call it Hampton Cove, and we know that it just means connecting all three together. You want to do Hampton Cove? Yeah, let's go to Hampton Cove. Also this past weekend was the Race for Justice, which was a fabulous little 5K, well, it was 10K, 5K, and a 1 mile fun run for the kiddos on Labor Day morning, so Monday morning. This was the race that had the fabulous Sleep In for Justice option, so great job with that, Jerry. And you heard Jerry Plain and Nicole Schroer come on the episode a few episodes ago to talk about the race for justice. Okay, so let's talk about Race for Justice a little bit. First and foremost, pickup was fabulous, easy, greeted there by Nicole and Jerry herself, as long with we had like other friends there helping out. Packet pickup, extremely easy, walked in, did the things, got the stuff. My husband and I ended up switching shirts. That was a little awkward on race day because we had to go switch back. After the race, I had put, my husband had worn the green shirt, and then that left the yellow shirt for me. Well, it turns out we had switched the shirts, and the volunteers were supposed to wear the yellow shirt, and I was supposed to wear the green shirt. So we didn't exactly get that correct. I'm sorry, Jerry, we'll do better in the future. Race day morning. So this was a great little race. Offers a 10K, a 5K, and a kids run. You heard me talk about how many PRs were set on this course. Oh my goodness. Every Strava run that I've been seeing from the course, it's like PR, PR. So-and-so set a 10K PR. So-and-so set their 5K PR. I mean, it was just like every third person set a PR on this course. So when I say it was fast and flat, it is the epitome of fast and flat. People were all talking about the PRs they got. Cons. The volunteers had to arrive while the 10K was going. And I know that Jerry, like as soon as I bring this up to her, she is going to get this fixed next year. As we were coming in, because my husband was volunteering for the 5K Marshall, so we had to come in and we were crossing the race course, and that, as a runner, that just personally makes me very nervous. Anytime I don't have like a cop or something out there showing me like when is going to be safe to go. So we just used our best judgment. There was lots of folks and marshals out there that were helping us, so I knew that we weren't going to like endanger any runners, but I also know that we are very conscientious and very careful around races and running groups like that. Not everybody is. So I would hope anybody coming in to volunteer for the race would be. But that was one thing, is that we had to come in on the race course while the race course was going. Made me a little uncomfortable doing that. Pros of the course, again, fast and flat, and everyone was talking about the PRs they were achieving. Another huge pro of the course, this was so fun. The awards, so the top male finisher, the top female finishers, and the age group awards were all these little gavels that were like engraved. And I've got to say, I think that's been my favorite award that I think I've ever seen. And in addition, the top lawyer in each race, or a top attorney or judge in each race, also got a gavel. And this one gentleman took the honors in both the 10K and the 5K. So congratulations. But anyway, the awards were super cute. Hats off to that, Jerry. Very good. Congratulations to Jerry for a successful race that was well executed. I know next year there was a couple of little things that you're probably going to want to fix. One is that the volunteers coming in on that race course. And then the second one, this was the other thing. As the 5K finishers were coming in, the kids race was starting, and there was a little bit like a little pile up, because there was one finisher coming in and the kids took off, and then she had to kind of divert and dive and stuff like that. And because the kids were like barreling down. So I think that, I think it was just like a timing issue, and that will probably be easily rectified in the future. But otherwise, it was a fantastic race. Jerry, you do a wonderful job, even if my husband wandered off and we had to go track him down before, so that he could go do his volunteer duties. Sorry about that. Okie dokie. So you guys, not first, I don't know. This is the fifth thing. Guys, I need your help. First, download this episode because that's a thing. I am finding out that getting the podcast out in front of new people is very, very hard, especially if folks are not downloading it or if folks are not tagging and sharing and doing all the things on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and all the stuff, right? So if you don't mind, go over there to Behind the Bib. I'm on Facebook, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, I'm on YouTube. I'm trying to do all the things, folks. And give me a like and a follow on all that stuff. And y'all, it's free. Like it doesn't cost any money to hit a like or hit a share. Or like if you go out and you copy the link to my Facebook page and you just send it to all your friends. I wouldn't cry about that. That would be pretty awesome, in fact. Okay, so I'm trying really hard to get this content out in front of other runners that this might help. Maybe somebody feels a little less alone, a little less discouraged, a little more encouraged to keep going and keep showing up because we are all there for them, right? If you wouldn't mind, go out there and do that. It would help me tremendously if you could. Okay. Let's talk about some upcoming local races. I'm going to go over these quickly. We've got the Safety Day 5K at Marshall Space Flight Center. Yours truly is a Couch to 5K coach for that. Don't forget you need Arsenal access for this race. That's on September 13th. Also on September 13th is the Rails to Recovery 5K. And the Liz Hurley Ribbon Run 5K is coming up on October 18th. The Helping Hands Half Marathon and 5K is coming up on October 25th. And just like that, we're into November races. And you know what November brings? Every Woman's Marathon, because I can't shut up about it. Speaking of which, I am trying so hard to get Every Woman's Marathon to come to Huntsville and do one of their pop-up 5Ks. Now, I think I'm the only one that's liking and sharing and like tagging them in all of my posts. But if more of us did that, I think they would pay more attention to us. So the next time you post about your fabulous run, the next time you post about you registering for the race, be sure to tag Every Woman's Marathon and tell them to come to Huntsville for a 5K pop-up. Because we have a bomb-ass running community here. And I think that they would be so impressed with how we would show up for them. All right. And if you want to find out where all of the local group runs are, head over to huntsvilleruns.com to get your local run updates. They're delivered every Sunday by the always amazing Will Nevin. All you have to do is provide your email address and good thoughts because he will shoot you an email every Sunday afternoon. It's funny, it's witty, it's some good reading, and you have a list of every single running group and where they run in Huntsville and all the days that end in Y. So there you go. Head over there to huntsvilleruns.com, give him your email address, and go forth and be educated. Okay, folks. Finally, I promised that it was coming. I'm so excited. All right. Let me get settled in here. I have got such big news. Laz is coming to Huntsville. Laz is coming to Huntsville. So, you have probably seen all of the posts by now. It's official. Fleet Feet is bringing Jared Beasley, the author of The Endurance Artist, for several special events in just a couple of weeks. First, there will be a night of storytelling with Jared and Laz at Montesano Lodge. And guess what? The event is free. There's dinner. There's going to be storytelling with Jared and Laz. And yours truly, that's right, Lisa from Little Old Behind the Bib is going to be running the Q&A for the event. Not only am I scared as hell to do this, I am extremely humbled at being even asked to help with this incredible event for our community. It's not often that we get running royalty that graces the doorsteps of our humble little parks. But we've got one coming. And not only do we have one coming, the event is free to the community. My running buddies and I were just talking about attending the book event at Fleet Feet Jones Valley on the Monday after the Montesano event. And we were just wondering, I wonder if Laz is going to be there. You know, we were just chit-chatting and thinking, oh, what if he's going to be there? We were going to the book signing anyway. And this has gone beyond all of my wildest dreams. Not only am I helping with the event, Jared Beasley has agreed to come on Behind the Bib. So I am fangirling all over my computer, y'all. I don't see how I can top this, but I am so excited to try. I can't believe it. So, y'all, it is official. Fall is coming. I think historically speaking, the last hot day is on September 10th, I believe. So it is here. And I secured some delicious Harry Potter toffee flavored coffee creamer. It was a splurge. I get it. But I got some last night and I had it in my decaf nighttime coffee. And oh my gosh, just like that. It was so good. All right. So we are through August. We're sliding into fall. It's going to be wonderful, y'all. So, like I said before, please go out there, check out Behind the Bib Podcast on Instagram, Behind the Bib on Facebook, Behind the Bib Podcast on YouTube, and on TikTok. I told you I was doing all the things. Here's the thing. Again, it's really hard to get this podcast out there in front of the folks that it might help doing the social things. If you've seen my post in passing, give me a thumbs up, hit a like, hit a follow on my pages, because the algorithm don't care how much I care about it. They care how much you care about it. And you show that you care about it by interacting with the post, by sharing them to people, by downloading the episodes. And the truth of the matter is, and unless people are engaging with the content, it's just going to sit there, and it's just going to be this horrible cycle of me coming on here begging you to do the things. So for those of you that have done it and continue to do it and do it regularly, thank you so much. I do appreciate it. And I really do think that it helps get this content out in front of people that need encouraging, that need the support, and that need to understand that they have this entire community here, and we all want each other to succeed. Okay. You guys, thank you so much for being here. Let's keep showing up for one another, whether you are first, whether you are last, or whether you are somewhere in between. I'll see you next time. We're Behind the Bib. Take care. You've been listening to Behind the Bib, where we have real talk for every runner.